This is a translated version of my original review, created for my English-speaking subscribers. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see more English content on the channel. Today I will show you one of the very affordable but surprisingly interesting Chinese quartz watches, made the Addiesdive MY-H3-C. I purchased this watch at the end of January for roughly $30. It arrived in a plastic box with foam lining. Inside you also get a tool for resizing the bracelet, a warranty card and a user manual. I actually like the finishing of the manual, although my native language Polish is not included. The box and interior look a bit cheap, but that's not what matters here. The boom in Chinese watches and their emergence in the awareness of an average watch consumer happened around 2015-2017. Chinese watches had existed for years. Take Seagull, for example, founded back in 1963. But it was this wave that truly popularized and spreaded Chinese brands across the globe. One of the key drivers of this growth was the rapid rise of e-commerce platforms like AliExpress. Thanks to AliExpress, Chinese watches turned the budget segment upside down. On the one hand, they offer an excellent price-to-performance ratio and impressive specifications. On the other, they are often criticized for lacking of originality, copying designs, not having their own identity, and even for intellectual property theft. This is a watch that directly takes inspiration from the well-known and respected Rolex Yachtmaster. Give this video a like if you ever bought a Chinese watch from AliExpress. The watch is powered by a Miyota 2115 quartz movement. The same one is used in the Festina I recently reviewed on this channel. The case and bracelet are made of 316L stainless steel, and the bracelet is made of solid links. The crystal is mineral glass with anti-reflective coating and a cyclops at 3 o'clock. The watch has a screw-down crown, 200 meters of claimed water resistance, and a screw-down case back. The total weight with bracelet is about 150 grams. The case thickness is 13 mm, case diameter is 41 mm excluding the crown, and the lug-to-lug size is 20 mm. The hands and indices are coated with BGW9 Lume. As I mentioned earlier, the watch is made of 316L stainless steel. The case and the bracelet are brushed, with only the sides of the case polished to a mirror finish. The bezel has 120 clicks, with no looseness, with a clear and perceptible click. In my opinion, it performs noticeably better than the Festina I reviewed recently. The bezel markers are mirror polished and reflect sunlight quite intensely. They are also fairly sharp to the touch. I have been wearing the watch for around 6 months, and either I have gotten used to it, or the edges have smoothed and worn out naturally. The screw-down crown is signed with the Addiesdive logo, 2 crossed harpoons. Once unscrewed, you will notice a visible crown gasket. Standard 2-position setup. The first position sets the date, the second position sets the time. The bracelet is well made. I haven't noticed any rough edges or imperfections like those on the bezel. It's made of solid links, brushed and polished on the sides, which matches the cased finish. The clasp feels secure. I have never felt like the watch might fall off or something. The build quality is roughly at the level of cheap Seiko 5. The case back is screwed down. Mine still has the protective film. The center is matte finished, with a raised glossy Addiesdive logo. Around it is a glossy ring with engraved text. Stainless steel sport diving waterproof 200 meters Addiesdive. The text is raised and tactile. I noticed that while filming this review, so we can deduct that the caseback is finished decently. It doesn't scratch or irritate the wrist. Looking closer, you can see circular tuning marks underneath. They remind me of the lathe traces, likely from a poorly done brushing process. The dial is quite minimalistic, in a dark navy blue that fades into black. I wish the dial had a more fancy texture or pattern. The hour markers at each 5-minute interval are applied. These are polished steel frames filled with Lume. Minute markers are painted on. The Lume is excellent. Addiesdive claims it's a Swiss BGW9 Lume, and I have to say it's a far better than Festina's Lume from my last review. Depending on the amount of charge, it remains legible all night in complete darkness. The hands are typical for diver style, similar in shape to the original Yachtmaster. They are made of polished steel and filled with Lume as well. At 12 o'clock we can see the Addiesdive logo and brand name. At 3 o'clock there is a date window with a cyclops, which is well aligned and works effectively. At 6 o'clock we see the text, Divers 200 meters. The crystal is mineral, not sapphire, but it does have anti-reflective coating, which honestly surprised me at this price. The watch cost the same amount of money as 6 Big Macs. The watch stands out with attractive look and gives a very solid first impression. As I said, it is a homage, which may not be acceptable for everyone. I have to highlight 200 meters water resistance, excellent room, and surprisingly anti-reflective coated glass, which is very rare in such budget watches. Overall, the build quality is solid, and the watch looks more expensive than it is. It definitely catches the eye of people who aren't too deep into watches. Watch is not perfect, and of course have some disadvantages. The bezel and bottom of the case have some minor imperfections. The lack of an automatic movement might be also a disadvantage for some. And again, it's a Yachtmaster homage. It won't be to everyone's taste. Personally, I wish it had a sapphire crystal and a bit more detailed and fancy dial. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Just one click for you, but a big step forward for the channel. Thanks again. See you next time.